Woo! Can you hear me? Can you see me? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, amazing. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Day 4 of Lupus Awareness Month, and we are in purple today. We are ready. We are excited because our guest is amazing. But before we get there, if you don't know me, if you've never seen me before and you have no idea who I am, hi. My name is Tenille. I guide people through reclaiming their identity and designing a full life after diagnosis or major life disruption. And today you have landed yourself on the best episode of Happily Healed with Tenille. Me, Tenille, yes. We have so much to talk about, and I'm so excited. This is a second time guest. Yes, guys, thank you so much. Comment all the comments. I want to know where you're tuning in from, who sees me where. You should be seeing me on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. I'm about to get on Tickety Talkie. I forgot about y'all. I'm sorry. I love you. So we have this second time guest who was incredible the first time. If you didn't see the episode, I think it was episode 60 like 7 or something. I'm gonna link it so that you can watch both. Okay. But that episode was blowing socks off of feet. Okay. People were just wiggling their toes. Like, what's going on? Because it was great. This woman's story is incredible. And she's a doctor, a real deal doctor. No, like, snake oil ridiculousness. No, like, all you need to do is she knows the labs to do, and she knows the mentality to have, and she's been through it. She also has lupus. So please get your notebook out, get your pens, get listening to this conversation because it's a very important one. Okay, we have in the building Dr. Z.
Hey, Dr. Z in the building.
Yes.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here.
Good morning to the West Coast. Good afternoon to the East Coast.
Yes. Oh, that's true. Yes. She woke up early to be with us, guys. Do all the comments. Be really nice. Be kind. She woke up early. Okay. So please introduce yourself. Tell them again where you're from, who you are, and what you do.
Yeah, thank you so much, Tenille, for having me again. I love speaking with you. It's always so much fun and definitely insightful and enlightening. So I'm Dr. Z. I'm a holistic doctor, technically, specifically trained in traditional Chinese medicine. I've been in practice for about 13 years, and I have had my own practice for 10 years this summer.
Wow.
I used to have lupus, so no more. I've been symptom free for over 13 years now, and it's been quite the journey. I actually got diagnosed 20 years ago. Can you believe that?
Wow. She looks 16. I'm so sorry. You look so young, and that's amazing. See, good living will do that to you. You see?
It's all the acupuncture, all the good herbs, all the good sleep, all that good stuff. But I also have really good genes. Yeah. Like my mom looks amazing. All of her sisters look amazing. Everybody looks great. And I think the secret is also feeling happiness and joy.
That part. Literally that part. Honestly, miserable people look miserable. Miserable people, write that down, y'all. Miserable people look miserable. And Dr. D is super happy. Yeah, it really honestly does.
It ages you when you're unhappy. Yeah. There's so much to be said about that, but for another day.
Right. This is a very random question, very random topic. So your parents or your family members, the people around you, when you got sick, did it age them?
You know what? I never thought about that. I don't think so.
I saw it.
My parents are super resilient. I don't think so. No. Yeah. They were cool. They were like, no big deal. She's got it. She'll figure it out.
That's amazing.
No, but let me finish my story because I don't think I've finished. So I was diagnosed almost 20 years ago. It was 2007. I was told by the doctors, I had all the symptoms, I had rashes on my face, on my arms. I had major joint pain and swelling. And I had kidney failure. So I was really swollen. I remember I couldn't fit into shoes. I had to wear flip-flops all the time. Wow. And this all happened so suddenly. in a way. There were some like not so obvious symptoms that I'd been dealing with for years, things like back pain and joint pain, but I never
Mhm.
had the swelling. I never had like there were ulcers in my mouth, like all of that stuff, all of the fiery, more like flary kind of symptoms.
Yeah.
Those came suddenly. I remember it was like April, and I had a very unhealthy lifestyle. I was doing a lot of partying, eating fast
Mhm.
food, working really hard, not sleeping, going
Mhm.
days without actual sleep. And I had a drug and alcohol problem.
Mm.
So I think it was April. I took my client that I was working with to the desert to Palm Springs. And it's really hot in Palm Springs. And as soon as we got there, my hands, my fingers were completely swollen. And that was the first time I saw that. And I was like,
Mm.
what is that? And it freaked me out because that wasn't common. And also,
Yeah.
lupus was extremely rare 20 years ago. Nobody had it. I
Yes.
had never heard about it. All of
Same.
these autoimmune conditions were completely rare 20 years ago. So I had never
Mhm.
seen anyone have that issue. It kind of freaked me out, but I just shrugged it off and kept on with my day. And I was like, well, they feel hot. Let me just like cool them off with some water. Maybe I'll stay out of the sun. So I did little things like that. And then a few days or maybe a couple weeks after that, like things just kind of progressively got worse. The rash came up, the ulcers in the mouth, the swelling just continued, and then I couldn't use the bathroom. I couldn't urinate.
Mm.
And that's when I was like, something's really wrong here. And I was traveling. Um, so I actually didn't get diagnosed here in the States. I got
Oh,
diagnosed
okay.
in Mexico because every time I would go to the doctor here, oh, you're just stressed. Go write in a journal.
Mm.
You're fine. Get
Wow.
some rest. I never got tested. They never tested me for anything.
They didn't even test you? They just gave you advice and sent you home? That's
No,
crazy.
no. Again, this was 20 years ago. This was
Wow.
rare. And
Still.
I was in my 20s. I was 25, 26 when I would go,
Mm.
24. So of course, a 23-year-old, from a doctor's perspective, isn't going to have anything wrong with them. So anyway, so that was that. So I actually got tested when I saw a rheumatologist because over
Mhm.
there, it's not like here. You don't need a referral. You can just go see whoever you want to see. And
That's how
so
it should be. That
that's
makes
actually
sense. They make sense over
so
there.
my tia was like, I'm gonna take you to my rheumatologist because I had joint pain. And I was like, okay. I didn't know anything about anything back then. And so anyway, he did like very extensive testing. All of the autoimmune panel tests that they do now, he did
Mhm.
them for me there. No questions asked. I mean, he asked questions, but it wasn't it wasn't like pulling teeth to get tested. It was just standard. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna test you. And
Yeah.
yeah, everything came out positive. And he said, you have lupus. And I said, what's lupus? And I had no idea what it was, had never heard about it,
Mhm.
completely lost and clueless, but also a little bit relieved because, okay, I knew I had something wrong with me. Finally, somebody cares enough to figure it out with me. And now I have a
Yeah.
diagnosis. I have this label that can kind of like tell me how to fix it, right?
Right.
So
So it
he,
was
he said,
relief.
huh?
So you were relieved. Like you got the diagnosis and you felt
A
better
little
because you're like,
bit,
okay, at least something. Yeah.
a little bit relieved, a little bit relieved. And then he told me your kidneys are failing. If you don't take this medication, you're gonna die.
Mm. And
And
how
I
old were
was
you when they
like,
said that?
I was 26.
26. If you don't
I
take
was
this
26.
medication, you're going to die. That's really cute and sweet and amazing. Love that for everyone. That's yep,
It
hate
was
it.
it was it was very scary, and I didn't take it right away um, because when I searched it online, it said immunosuppressant, and immediately
Mhm.
that word set off a red flag for me. It was like, I don't know if I want that. I don't know if I want to
Right.
suppress my immune system. What if now I start getting other kinds of sick? So
Mm-hmm.
I just did a lot of research online to try to figure out what this all was. Mind you, this was 2007.
Mm.
So there was no functional medicine, there was no holistic medicine. I
Right.
mean, it was there, but no one was talking about it. It wasn't
Right.
common. It wasn't like I could
The
easily find
internet.
something the way we can now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the only thing I found were these message boards for support groups for women with lupus. Everybody that was in there was saying that they were taking the medications, they weren't getting better, but now they were struggling with moon phase and all of these other side effects from the medication.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't take it because I was like, well, if it's not even working for them, what's the point? There has to be another way,
Right.
right? And so I just kept trying to figure it out. And then my mom found something online for me that was like this big supplement protocol. It sounded overwhelming at the time, but she
Yeah.
gave me like she printed out a bunch of stuff from that company. I didn't take the supplements she gave me, but just reading the handouts that she gave me, it just opened up my perspective to this is deeper than just taking medication. Like I have to fix my body from a deeper level. Because it talked about
Yeah.
nutrition and it talked about detoxification. It talked about like how many toxins we're exposed to all the time and all this stuff. So, long story short, I just dove into this really deep journey of trying to figure it out on my own. I had stopped working, so
Mm.
my insurance was about to run out. Um, I didn't want to go see conventional medicine anymore because I feel like they failed me. So
Mm.
I don't recommend this to anybody, by the way. To do it the way I
Right.
did it because I didn't take medication and I was under the care of nobody. Um,
Right. You didn't tell anybody though? Like when you were deciding to go off the beaten path, you didn't talk to like any doctors or anything. You just did it?
no,
You
no, because
crazy.
I
You
I was
crazy girl.
ignored. Everyone ignored me. So I was like, forget y'all. Like I'm gonna figure this
Wow.
out. But what saved me was this book. So I wasn't completely alone. I found this book. It's called Lupus Alternative Therapies at Work. I believe the author's name is Susan Moore. She's from Washington. And she wrote this book in the 90s when lupus was extremely rare. And she set off and did her own research as well, spoke to doctors, read a lot of books and figure out a protocol. So I was following the protocol that I found in the book, which was like eating a lot of veggies, taking certain supplements. And then she had some modalities in there like hypnosis and acupuncture and things like that. So I was doing the nutrition part and the lifestyle part on my own and I was feeling better. The symptoms
Yeah.
started to fade a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure I was using the bathroom again and everything was fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
I was drinking lots and lots of water. Obviously, I stopped drinking and using and got into rehab and all that. But yeah, it took some time. And then it wasn't until I actually tried acupuncture for the first time that I really felt this bigger shift where I felt like, you know what? I think I can heal from this. I think if I just keep coming to get acupuncture, keep eating well, keep doing yoga, keep going on hikes, keep
Mm-hmm.
praying, because praying and meditation was a huge part of it.
Say it
Um,
again. Amen. Okay. I love that.
amen. Faith is
People
the
don't talk
biggest
about
healer.
that at all.
Faith is the biggest healer. I highly believe that. And that's what a lot of my indigenous elders have taught me is that faith, having faith, prayer, spirituality, your connection to nature and your connection to spirit is the most healing thing. And the reason why we're so sick is because we've lost that connection to nature and
Mm.
to spirit. Because
Okay.
nature is also a spirit. Plants have a spirit, trees have a spirit. So the acupuncture turned on my faith and it was like I have faith and I believe that I can heal if I just keep coming back. So I was getting acupuncture 3 times a week, really strict about my nutrition, really dialed in, and within 1 year my labs were normal.
Woo!
And
Let's
that was
go.
amazing. That was amazing, but I also felt like I still don't feel well. you know
Yeah.
because the symptoms were still there because and a lot of women struggling with autoimmune, you can have amazing lab work but still feel like shit.
Yeah.
something is
100%.
still something is still wrong. You still have
Mm-hmm.
rashes, you still have da da da. And there's no test that can test every single thing. So
Right.
so labs can be helpful, but they're not the entire picture.
Right. And they
It
only
took,
they only
hmm?
test for like a specific number of like the antibodies or whatever they're looking for. They're only like it's if it's this bad, then they're it's registering. But if it's not that bad, but it's still not good, there's no test to be like, well, you're still kind of a little bit sort of sick right there, but it's not that bad, so you should be fine. Like that's how medicine works. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how the conventional medicine system works. And you can test for every single thing and find nothing wrong, but still not feel well. It
Right.
doesn't tell you everything. It will never tell
Mm-hmm.
you every single thing.
Right.
Science is not always going to tell us every single thing.
Right.
It's helpful, right? And it can validate and confirm a lot of suspicions and a lot of theories, but it doesn't tell us every single thing.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I did that. I still was struggling with symptoms. I dove deeper into my healing journey, started to do a lot of practices that involved more of my indigenous ancestry. So things like sweat lodge ceremony, plant medicine ceremonies, prayer circles, more like full moon rituals and things like that. And that really changed the game for me because it allowed
Right.
me to see a whole other world that is not part of science. So I
Mm-hmm.
was, I was exposed to both at the same time. I was exposed to I was in school in my master's program, and our program is very science forward. There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of biomedicine and biology and pathology and pharmacology that we study, but yet, acupuncture and traditional Chinese medicine is also very energetic. It's a very energetic spiritual medicine that is reflective of nature, everything
Yeah.
environment, everything we're surrounded by. So I was getting both at the same time,
I
and
have a
and for
question
me
about
it
that.
wasn't. Yeah.
So when you're merging those two worlds, how do people take you? Like, because I know that the acupuncture and all that route, people are like, oh, that's so woo woo, and like people talk mad crap about it, right? So and then medical doctors get a lot of like flack for being like, this is big pharma and like you don't know, and that kind of like people are very pro one and anti the other a lot of the time. So how were you received by the other people? Like did the people at your school or in your like practice, were they upset about the non-conventional things that you were doing, or were they on board?
um n- you know I think the idea that science is separate from spirit is just another way to keep us divided. I think they
Mm,
both matter. I
yeah.
mean, when you think about metaphysical, that's actually both a science and a spiritual, energetic field of study. When you think about astrology, that's not woo-woo. It's an actual science. If you really learn and study it, it's an actual science because it's like you're looking at the position of the stars in the sky and how that is affecting the beings on the planet. So
Mm-hmm.
all of this stuff, the ancients knew all this, and it was considered a science back then.
Yeah.
The rhetoric or the idea that spiritual practices or spiritual ideologies are woo-woo or quackery or a mystery or not real, it's false because
Right.
they've been around for thousands of years because they work. And the thing with Chinese medicine is that it is a combination of both. You have the science and you have the energetic piece. And I feel that the future of medicine is that. The future of medicine is already here. There are so many integrative practitioners like me. I'm not the only one. We're
Mm-hmm.
combining science, we're combining the energetic. I had a therapist a few years back she was a psychotherapist, so giving me and by the way, the psychotherapy world is the most when it comes to being really rigid about how they practice. It has to be this way. You have to follow these guidelines. They're very,
Mm,
um, uh, official in that sense. So for the psychotherapy world to be changing, I mean, look, they're already incorporating psychedelic use for therapy. Um,
yeah.
My therapist a few years ago, she was called an integrative therapist, which was a fairly new term back. This was about 6, 7 years ago. Back
Mhm.
then, it was a fairly new term. And so she was doing psychotherapy,
Mhm.
cognitive behavioral therapy, talk therapy, like
Yeah.
a regular, the therapist that we all think about. But she was incorporating other modalities into it. Color and light therapy, which almost nobody talks about, that helps to
Mm.
bridge your brain hemispheres and helps to process trauma.
Wow.
We were doing flower essence therapy, which helps to soften and smooth out the edges that can come up during therapy. We were also doing Reiki, which, in LA, everybody does Reiki, but it is a very powerful medicine. And doing all of that together in one session, it felt very natural. It felt like this belongs together. It should be this way.
Right.
And then when I think about like a lot of the medicine ceremonies that I took part in down in Mexico and down in Peru and the Amazon, um, the ancient indigenous elders, they talk about the wisdom, not just from a spiritual level, but also the wisdom of the plants and the scientific compounds and like their properties and why they actually help you on a physical level as well as on a spiritual level.
Wow.
They're incredibly wise. They may not have degrees, but they can teach us all a thing or two about healing and medicine. And so
Right.
I
I
think they go hand
agree.
in hand. When it comes to traditional medicine, traditional Chinese medicine, when I was in school, in grad school, um, there were people that were more scientific, and then there were people that were a little more on the esoteric side of things. Um, so there was definitely like a separation. There wasn't a lot of us that were like completely um, embracing both. I remember there was a
Yeah.
student. I remember there was a student once who, in the very, very beginning, I think one of my first classes, she kept questioning every single thing, like if she didn't believe it was true. Uh,
Mm.
well, why is it like that? But why? But how
Mhm.
does that? How? And it's one of those things that you can't really like. It just is, like
Right.
that's just the way it is. And
Right.
for me, it felt so natural. It felt like, yes, this resonates. This actually makes sense to me. I get that. Because traditional Chinese medicine takes our bodies and reflects it back to nature. So we're an
Mhm.
expression, a smaller expression of what you see on planet Earth. And for me,
Yeah.
that makes so much sense.
You have faith, though. You said before when you were talking, you said, like, at that point, that's when I got faith. Like, that's when I understood, like, I can get a little better. Like, I can figure this out. So, like, doesn't matter what you're studying, it doesn't matter what you believe. If you have faith that what you are doing matters and is real and is working, it's bound to work way better than if you just are going through the motions or just doing it because, well, I'm supposed to do it or whatever it is. Like, you got your degrees in things that we were passionate about already, that you already were like, this is part of my healing journey. This is, I need to be able to help the people around me. And I admire that about you. So now that she's doing a master class. I've been advertising on my stories, but you're doing these master classes. So like, what brought that to your mind or put it on your heart? Like, I need to do these kind of classes.
Yeah. So when I was back to my story, when I got the labs being normal, they were like, you're in remission. Cool. I wasn't excited because I still felt sick. I felt like I wasn't done yet. Like
Mm-hmm.
the labs show one thing and that's beautiful, but there's more work to be done. And like I said,
Yeah.
with the deeper work I was doing on a spiritual level, I was really able, because you have to understand, I come from a history of complex trauma. Complex trauma
Mm-hmm.
means it's a combination of traumas from a very young age that are not common and that are very complex, very challenging cases. And so um, there was no amount of therapy and medication that was going to help me to really confront those traumas and heal truly from them and learn what I needed to learn from them. What I feel
Mm-hmm.
helped me was those plant medicine ceremonies, those sweat lodge ceremonies, those prayer ceremonies, and those rituals. That's what helped me confront those traumas. And so when I was able to confront those traumas, the symptoms that were stemming from those traumas were no longer haunting me, causing inflammation, causing joint pain, causing rashes. So fast forward to um, 2013, I got out of a relationship that wasn't serving me. Actually, I got out of that relationship in 2012, but it took a whole year for him to leave me alone. Um, 2013, all of my symptoms went away and never returned.
Leave
So
that
now
man. Leave that man, guys. You can heal yourself.
so
Hello? That's
I am
crazy.
going to say that sometimes when you're in a dynamic that is not serving you, whether it's at work, at home, in your personal life, romantically, sometimes leaving or exiting that dynamic is the medicine you need. I met my daughter's father. We fell in love. Like I was just elated. My symptoms were gone. I was running. I was swimming. I was working out like nobody's business because I finally felt good enough to do so. I was in the middle of my program, soon to finish. So I was like, I was high on life. I was feeling so good. This was like 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016. All those years were great years. I felt so healthy, so strong. It was like the best time of my life. Then I was pregnant with my daughter at 2017. In 2017, I went back to Kaiser because I had to. And they were like, I mean, I still went to Kaiser here and there for things, right? But it wasn't my primary place for care. But I had to see the specialist because of my history of lupus. And so he looks at my record, he looks on his screen at my history, and he's like, so you've been in here for lupus, da 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 da. I see your labs, I see your visits. How are you feeling now? I said, I haven't had symptoms in a few years. I actually feel great. My health is good. No problems, like literally zero complaints. I was sleeping good. Everything was fine in my life. And he looked at me, he looked at the screen, and he's like, well, you don't have lupus anymore. Whatever you're doing or whatever you did, that's great. Keep doing it. You don't need to come back.
Ooh, yeah.
And
Yes.
and he said it to me. He said, you don't have lupus anymore. It wasn't you're in remission. It wasn't you're not flaring. You don't have lupus anymore. I was like, hallelujah. you know? And
Yes.
that was so validating. I probably cried that day. I cried a lot during my pregnancy.
Yes, hormones. They're a crazy place.
But yeah,
That's amazing.
so yeah, I've been symptom free that long, and my daughter's now 8. We had zero
Wow.
complications during birth. Everything was cool. Motherhood is a whole other journey, and it definitely does change your body. So there's stuff that comes up. My health isn't perfect per se. I do have days now as a mom where I don't feel great, and I do wake up in pain. But it's not anything close to what I used to have when I had lupus. And
Right.
I used to be laid out in bed. Like I could not get out of bed. My hands were swollen. They felt like they were on fire. I haven't felt that in a really long time. And I'm grateful. So anyway, to answer your question, when I realized how good acupuncture can make you feel, I told myself, why isn't everyone doing this?
Yes.
And I started to feel like maybe it's my job to share this medicine with everyone else. And then when I got better and like my health improved, then I just knew like I have to help women who were just like me, let them know, inspire them, and let them know that there's another way, that healing is possible. Like if I can do it, anyone can do it.
Right.
And just the
You're
other day,
amazing.
huh?
You're amazing. You're amazing.
Oh,
I
thank
love it.
you.
Like you integrated the two, like I always say, or my mentor says, your job is what you do, but your calling is who you are. And you just merged them so beautifully that like you can, you are passionate about helping people to not be where you were. Like we connect so much on that level. Like it's a mission. It is a life's mission to like help people not have to go through the hardest of times and being hopeless in that like lupus hole, the pit of like, oh, am I ever gonna get better? It's not, nothing's working, all these drugs, like that. the thought process of it all, and like the sadness that you feel when you think your life is being ripped away from you, like taking all of that back, like go to these master classes. We both have master classes coming up. Go to these things, because get all of the free information that you can possibly get, and then find your team. You need a team of people to be working with you, and you need community that's going to boost you up when you don't feel like doing it. Because we're not going to let you just sit around and pout. We're not going to let you just sit around and be like, I can't do anything. Yes, you can. Your mind is so powerful. These stories that she's telling about her recovery, she made these decisions to get better. She found hope in little places to expand on. And you have access to all of the knowledge to do those same things. So snap, snap, snap. What do the kids do? This, that, one of those. Pocket.
Yeah. You know, I felt very strongly that this was my calling without really knowing anything about acupuncture, without really knowing anything about the industry, you know. I literally just, I thought about it for like a day or two. I asked the interns that were giving me acupuncture, asked them some questions. And within that same week, I was already enrolled in the program.
Wow.
I didn't even look to see how much money acupuncturists made per year. But I just felt like, you know what, this is where I need to be. And later on, when I was in school, come to find out that my great grandmother was a midwife, and that Mayans practiced acupuncture and still do. Like, this is part of our medicine, you know, like from people from the Americas. This is what we did. This is what we do. It's just that all of our knowledge was burnt by colonizers, so we don't have access to a lot of what the practices that they used, other than through verbally being passed down by elders. But anyway, there's a renaissance of all of that coming back, and so the more I learn about acupuncture and its history, the more and traditional medicine from other countries like Mexico and South America, the more I realize how we're not that different. You know, we're not that different. And you know, African as well, like the medicine, traditional medicine from Africa is so similar to ours. And so the more I learn about that, the more I feel like we're not that different, and how much this medicine is needed right now. Because conventional medicine, it has a place, absolutely. It can be life-saving, absolutely. I am not opposed to taking medication. I think sometimes that is necessary. And I will admit that there was once or twice where I did take prednisone for a few days. But our bodies are not designed for that as a long-term solution. And you always have to, you can take the medication, but you need to have a plan to sustain you long-term. And so my purpose is even more clear now than ever before. I went through all of this so that I can have these tools to share them with everyone else. I feel that we're all here on some level to help the world and to be of service. You know, whatever your gifts are, whether it's creative. By the way, I'm also an artist, so I also sing and write and act. Whatever your gifts are, if you're an engineer, if you are intelligent in putting things together and building things, like whatever your gifts are, you have to come and share them, because we're all here for a purpose. I feel that when we remember what that purpose is, we can all help to make the world a better place.
100%. Thank you. It's an obligation. Like, you're not here for no reason. We're not just floating around on this rock for no reason. Okay. Everyone has a gift, and everyone has something that they're meant to leave here on this earth. Like, think about the millions of generations, thousands of generations that have like started that medicine, that traditional medicine, and then they're passing it down. Like, it was their purpose to have all those babies, to teach those babies those things, to continue the you know, high betterment of society, every society, for all of time. Like, just because you now have a diagnosis doesn't mean, well, that's it, I don't have a purpose anymore, I just get to lay here and be sad about it. Like, no, go after every passion you have, go after every lesson you can learn, go after all of it. because you are here for a reason. There's a purpose that you're on this earth. Like, you feel a heartbeat still happening, you're here for a reason. Okay. So
Totally, 100%.
yes, yes.
And I
So
think cultivating the
go.
confidence for that is what's important, which is
Oh,
our topic of the day.
yes. If we get there. But yeah, confidence. How did you stay confident during those times when all this stuff was going wrong? Or like, where did you get the confidence from to come out of that, like being upset about being sick?
Look, I'm not gonna lie. I did not feel confident when I was sick at all.
Mm-hmm.
Even after I got better, the confidence took a while to come back online. And you're talking about someone who, as a child growing up, I was a performer. I performed on stage, no problem. On stage, I have absolutely no problem, which is weird. And I'm kind of like Michael Jackson. Like, I can be on stage and be out, like, kill it, doing whatever. It's connecting to people one-on-one that I have a challenge with, and I still do to this day. But it's because of my past. Like, I have a hard time trusting people that are really close to me, or letting people in. But the confidence, I think, started to come back little by little when I was able to physically do things that I wasn't able to do before, even as simple as walking. Even, when I was able to walk a little bit more, I felt a little bit more confident, like, okay, it's getting better. If I keep going, it'll keep getting even more better. That same idea that I got when I first had acupuncture. If I just keep coming back, it's going to get better. I'm going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
So it was one of those things, just little by little, little by little. And I think that idea of doing things gradually, taking it one step at a time, baby steps, that is the key to improving your health when you're especially dealing with mobility issues. And that's what I tell all of my clients. Like, don't get a membership and start working out for 30 minutes at the gym. Take 10-minute walks outside your neighborhood, then 15 minutes, then 20 minutes. And if you feel terrible, then take a break, take a day off. Listen to your body, take those baby steps, because you're not going to feel confident if you push yourself and then you're back to feeling bad or worse than before.
Exactly.
So you have to learn to take it little by little, baby steps, and celebrate each and every win. Because
that part.
if you don't do that, it's just going to feel like nothing happened. But if you acknowledge, especially your body, one of the things that we have a challenge with is that we're disconnected from our bodies when we're dealing with autoimmune. For sure. We feel betrayed by our bodies. We feel angry with it, frustrated with it. But our bodies need love, They need love and they need encouragement. And so,
and those small wins.
Even though you feel like crappy, right? You have to say, you know what? I got you. It's okay. Today you did 5 minutes. That's great. Tomorrow we'll try and do a little more.
Right. And it's a comparison world. Like, we're all comparing abilities, like, they're in the Olympics, they're doing this, and I can't even do 5 minutes.
We don't need to compare ourselves to anybody. But when you do that, when you acknowledge your body, something really magical happens inside. Your body learns to feel safe again. It learns to trust again. Because hypervigilance, being in fight or flight, is a very common main place to be for people who are struggling with autoimmune. We're always in that place. Right? And so when we talk to our bodies like that, when we acknowledge those wins, they soften, they relax, the body relaxes. And then guess what? That inspires a little more confidence for the next time.
Yep, exactly. You train your body to, like, be excited to do things and be grateful, and not be mad at your body for not doing what you think it should be able to do. You need to rest when you need to rest. Your body is talking to you, and it can hear you talking. If you get mad, my great grandmother, she'll be 100 this year. My great grandmother,
That's amazing.
when her body hurts, yeah, she's in Jamaica though. She's not in America being crazy. So, but she talks to her body when something hurts. She'll be like, "What are you doing, knee? You're the only knee I have over on this leg. I need you. Let's work together." Like she literally is like rubbing a cream on her leg and telling like, "You can do this." And we don't be mean to me. I'm gonna be nice to you. I'm rubbing you. You see, like talking to your body legitimately. And she's 100 years old and like, still able to like move around. So the thing is, people don't understand that your body's hearing you all the time. Your body's feeling you all the time, like being frustrated and angry at your body for doing its best. It's doing its best right now to take care of you. Like when you're sick, it's your immune system doing what it think it's supposed to be doing. So like, don't be upset about it. Be celebrating the great things and be understanding that like, I have hope and we're gonna come back from this, and body, we can do it. Let's rally. We can, Oh, we have a good question in the comments.
Yeah, the comments have been blowing up.
Yeah. Anthony from DC says, I understand your physician's conclusion that you no longer have lupus. Do you consciously continue living as if you are in recovery from lupus?
Do you consciously continue living as if you are in recovery from lupus? I'm in prevention mode always, meaning that the same kind of lifestyle that I adapted when I was healing from lupus is still pretty much the same. I don't eat a lot of food that can cause inflammation, but I also am not as strict as I was. And then there definitely are things that I do now that I didn't do back then, especially because now I have a daughter, right? And so like before I would eat zero sugar, no sugar.
Yeah.
I would eat natural sugar, right? Like fruits and stuff, but no processed sugar whatsoever. And I was fine with it. I didn't miss it at all. And when you have a kid, they come in the mix, and I tried to avoid the sugar into our lives for a really long time, but I'm not the only person she's with. She's with her dad, she's with her mom, she's with family, she's at school, and candy's freaking everywhere, man. And sugar's freaking everything.
Yeah.
So it started to creep into our world, and then like birthday parties and piñatas and there's candy. Yeah. So we've started to eat a little candy here and there, but I make sure to tell her and let her know like it's a treat. It's not a regular thing.
Yeah.
Same with dairy. I was like zero dairy for so long. I felt great. Removing dairy was one of the best decisions of my life.
I agree.
And not because I was lactose intolerant, but I feel it was the biggest cause for my asthma and my allergies. So that was the first thing that I removed, and that was the first thing that went away was my asthma and my allergies, which was amazing. So I can eat dairy, no problem. But if I eat it like regularly, I don't know what can happen. I don't want to know. But I assume that my allergies may come back. So anyway, we have pizza every now and then because pizza is always at a kid's party. So I would say it's like 80-90% of the time I'm living the same way I used to, but there's a lot more room for flexibility and to just like indulge here and there. I do have cake sometimes on occasion. I do crave chocolate sometimes on occasion, and I go have it, and I don't beat myself up about it. It's just not a regular thing. My body enjoys the stability of good quality food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prevention mode? Yeah.
So, it's just prevention mode, but like you're not like super strict about anything specific. And you
not anymore, but I was.
Yeah, to get to the healing phase. But I just want to say that I think dairy milk, like from cows, I think that's weird. I just think it's weird. I never was lactose intolerant either. And when I gave it up, I was like, oh, like I didn't understand that I was drinking breast milk from a cow. I think that's very strange. So I'm good. Like, it gives me the ick. I'm always like, when I think about it, I'm like, ew, that's somebody's mom. I don't need their milk. It's okay.
We actually talked about that in my acupuncture program, when I was studying traditional Chinese medicine, that was one of the things that they said is like the cow's milk is not designed for human consumption. It's designed for baby cows.
Yeah.
It's just a dairy industry profitability
Yeah. Lots
program.
of money then.
You know, they say, well, the calcium, the calcium. There's so many other sources of calcium out there, and
Yeah.
I feel that, and you know, now whole fat, whole milk is making a comeback. Raw milk is making a comeback.
Raw milk.
I
That
still
scares me.
I still disagree.
Yeah.
I know a lot of biohackers and like health experts recommend it. A lot of them are men.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, our bodies were not designed for human consumption, and that is for dairy consumption. And that is why a lot of us are lactose intolerant. We don't have that enzyme to digest it.
Yeah.
So it does, and
That,
also it's kind of the same for being vegan. We don't have all of the enzymes designed to eat everything out in nature. We just don't. Most of us benefit from having a little bit of everything.
I'm 10 years vegan, and I am
Oh my gosh, you're
get
vegan! I
my
forgot.
yes, yes, but I do all the things. Like I understand. Like I don't depend on just like fruits and vegetables to get all of my stuff. Like I do supplement with things, and I do think
But
it's possible to get stuff without it, but it's harder. Like without
more
any
work.
supplements, yeah, it's way more work. You got to be calculated. It's not like you just like, oh, I'm just eat some broccoli and I'll be fine. Like you really need to log everything you're eating to make sure you're hitting all of your targets. And to get omega 3s, make sure you're getting enough flax and chia, and like what it's a lot if you're doing no supplementation. Um, I've seen it done. I just don't have time for that. I got things to do. So, but food is my topic. That is, I will talk food all of the live long day. So, y'all come to my masterclass, um, from illness to brilliance, how to rebuild your energy and life, vegan edition. And we'll talk more about that. But back to confidence, because I'm taking us on a tangent here. But yeah, so you were not feeling super confident when you were actually sick. Can relate, can relate. And then when you started building your confidence by accomplishing small health goals, and then the more health goals you accomplished, the better you felt, the more your confidence came in. Correct?
Yeah, little by little, little by little.
Yeah.
You know, there were
Yeah.
still. I think for me, the confidence was something that I struggled with because when I got sick, I feel like I just completely lost everything. Um, or like I completely fell apart. And
Right.
prior to me getting sick, I was this very together, controlled, like just solid, grounded person. Um,
Mm.
and I was the life of the party, you know. Um,
Mhm.
I always had people around me, and I was happy. I felt great. But
Yeah.
when lupus hit me, it wasn't just that. It was all of my past traumas. Because what I had done is I had built an amazing shield fortress around me. And that's why I was so confident, is because nobody could get in. I I didn't
Mm.
have I didn't have many relationships, like romantic relationships.
Yeah.
Um, and the close friends I had, they didn't know me deeply. They didn't know a lot of stuff
Mhm.
about me. And to this day, there's not one person in my life that really, really knows me. Not my mom, not my family. Um, my daughter is my closest person, and she's only 8, so she's known me for 8 years.
Yeah.
Uh,
She's not gonna just know to judge
I
you. She
was
just knows
I was
your
like
mommy.
this, but I've always had a lot of acquaintances. I've always known so many people, and it's easy for me to socialize. But getting close and letting people in was always like no, mm-mm. And
Oh.
and so when I got really sick, I that castle, that fortress fell apart, you know,
Yeah.
and I was completely exposed. and I fucking hated it. Not gonna lie.
Uh-huh.
I
Yeah.
I felt really vulnerable, and I had never felt that before. I always had it together. I was always the friend that everybody came to for advice. I never sought advice from anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so I
That's so
it felt like being completely naked. And then I was like, okay, well, let's see who can who can still be around this version of me, this new version of
right.
me, who's like completely not confident, completely struggling. Like I need help, I need support. And to be honest with you, a lot of people disappeared.
Right. But it's the bravest thing. It's the bravest thing to
A
love
lot of people
people and
disappeared.
let them love
The
you. It is the
friends,
brave.
the friends and sisters that I thought were gonna be around forever, gone. You know, they were like, "Oh, I'm sorry you're sick," but that was the extent of it. You know,
They don't have it. They cannot. Some people don't have the fortitude. Like they cannot withstand loving somebody and watching them be sick or watching them do something out of the ordinary to stay healthy. Like I understand what you're saying completely. Like it's so much easier to like just surface level talk to people and be like cool with people or whatever, but it's so rewarding when you find your tribe and like your people who really are going to love you through it. And the people who I thought were going to love me through it didn't show up at the hospital.
yeah,
Those people
yeah,
were were not there when I needed them, and I came back out and I was like, okay, like that was my lesson. I was sad, I cried about it, whatever, and then I realized like some people are just not capable. Like if there's nothing wrong with me, it's just I'm not for everybody. You could be the sweetest peach on the tree, and someone is allergic to peaches. So like, there's just nothing you can't make people understand you or love you or whatever. But I'm brave enough to open myself up to the possibility of them loving me and understanding me at this point. At this point, because it's heartbreaking to understand that in the beginning. Like some people are just not going to be able to do it. They cannot make it. They cannot love you the way you need to be loved or stay around the way you need them to stay around. And that you just gotta let those people go. Like I held on to that for a long time. I had a boyfriend for 4 years who left me in the hospital. He said, "This is too much. Gotta go." Like
mm,
so, but he's who he is, and it's a great thing because if we would have gotten married or had children or whatever, it would have been a bigger heartbreak. So like, it is what it is. Yeah.
yeah. So I definitely feel like a lot of those friends that I thought would be around, that just wasn't the kind of friendship we had. It was
Mm-hmm.
that there's levels of friendships,
Yeah, for
right?
sure.
And I think that those are more just like social, not deep, intimate friendships.
Yeah.
That's what I realized, and also because of my healing journey, we went on separate paths.
Mm-hmm.
They stayed doing the things that we used to do together. I was ready to do something different with my life, and it just didn't make sense anymore.
Yeah.
It was a really hard loss, even still to this day, I miss having those friendships because
Mm,
they were some of the closest friendships I had experienced in my life
yeah.
thus far.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that when you're on a healing journey, it can be really isolating. And because mine started 20 years ago, a lot of these wellness events and groups and communities didn't exist. So a
Right.
lot of this stuff was done on my own.
Mm-hmm.
My family is, I love them, but we're a dysfunctional bunch. So I actually am not very close to my family.
Yeah.
My mom I'm close with, um, and she's been the most supportive. And my parents and my family have still been supportive to the extent that they can.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm always grateful for that, no matter what. And no matter, how much like I've lost, I always know that there's so much that I am grateful for. And I think part of my journey and my resilience came from rebuilding my life pretty much on my own. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have a tribe, I didn't have a sister tribe or a sisterhood. Um, a lot of this was just on my own. And
How beautiful.
having the support of like my mom, for example, has been there. Even though her and I, we have our
Yeah.
challenges too with our relationship because it definitely has been difficult. And I'm the kind of person that needs more emotional support than has been provided to me
Mm-hmm.
by anyone and everyone, partners and friends and family and whatever. I'm a very sensitive soul, but I
Mm.
come off as being this very like confident person, but I actually um, I appreciate emotional closeness.
Yeah.
So anyway, that being said, the fact that I was able to rebuild my life from where I was to where I am now,
Mm-hmm.
when I look back and think about it, I think that is what has inspired the most confidence. Because
Yeah.
being in grad school, getting my doctorate, I I always felt less than in
Oh.
school. I didn't feel smart enough. You know, I was one of the only very small few Latina women in the program, you know.
Mm.
Everybody was like super highly intelligent, and I didn't feel like I was when I started out because I was also still recovering, right?
Glad
Um,
you proved yourself wrong. Because look at you, all
but
highly intelligent and stuff. We
I
see you.
proved myself wrong, and
Yes.
you know, the more time passes, the more I realize that like I am confident. There's a part of me that I think still is learning to integrate with where I am now,
Mm-hmm.
but it's that inner child, you know. It's that person, that little girl that never felt good enough for her dad or never felt good enough to do
Mm-hmm.
all the things.
Yeah.
Because you know my dad was rough and he was very hard to please. He was like Joe Jackson. So it was a rough childhood, and I think you carry that with you through your life. That never
Yeah.
goes away. And
Yeah.
it's just tending to that inner child, because that inner child is the one that needs the most healing.
I love this. This was a great conversation. Like the transparency and like just yeah. Somebody said in the comments, Sonia, I'm sorry, said thank you for sharing your stories with true transparency. Because literally, this was therapy. This was a lovely, lovely conversation. Thank you so much for being here. Let us know if you want to take this last. I usually ask like give a nugget that you want someone to take away, but I do know that you have this series of master classes coming up. So if you would like to, instead of giving a takeaway, you can give why we're coming to your master class.
So I feel like I gave a lot of nuggets already throughout this whole chat. You know,
Yeah.
listen to your body, take the time, connect, and spirit and science are both important. So I shared a lot about my journey today because I've been studying and healing from autoimmune for the past 20 years. And I've been helping other women heal from autoimmune for the past 13 years. So, and what I've seen is that there are not enough doctors truly integrating what is necessary to create true long lasting healing.
Mm-hmm.
um, Not enough doctors are addressing the true root causes of autoimmune. And that's part of the reason why I shared my story with you today, because I believe that for me personally, my childhood had a huge impact on my health. Because when we grow up in a stressed state, our bodies, it affects us physiologically. It's not just mental, it's not just here. It
Mm-hmm.
affects us. There's a physiological response to growing up like that. And the body stays like that unless there's intervention. And when you're a kid, you don't know any better. So you stay there. You stay hypervigilant. You
Mm-hmm.
stay stressed. You stay in fear. You
Yep.
stay with the idea that the world is not a safe place and cannot be trusted. And so
Yep.
if your body's in that state for a prolonged amount of time, illness is going to happen because it disrupts and dysregulates every single system, your nervous system, your immune system, your endocrine system, and all of these different processes. And there's no doctors talking about that. So
Mm.
the reason I created this class is to talk about the real root causes of autoimmune. And there are many causes. It's not just
Yep.
trauma. There's many
Mm-hmm.
more that are not being talked about. They're not being addressed. When you understand the causes, treatment options are easier to find
Yep.
because you understand what's happening. Now you can figure out what to do about it. So that's what
Yep.
I'm going to be talking about. It's a 3-part series. So there's 3 classes. Each one is going to be different. It's best if you join each one because you will learn so much in each one. I don't want to complicate things. I'm not trying to confuse anyone. I know there's a lot of conflicting information out there. My intention is to keep the class very clear and direct, but also go deeper so that you have a deeper understanding of what is happening when you struggle with autoimmune. It's much bigger than just your immune system is attacking itself. It's so much more. And so I want to give you the information. I want to give you what your options truly are. And I do want to also give you a clear path forward, because I will be sharing in the last one my method that worked for me and that works for my clients. It's free to join. It's free to join. You just go to drzelinamedina.com/masterclass. It's there. I hope to see you all there. And in the meantime, if anybody wants to reach out to me, you can find me through Instagram. You can go on my website. I also have a YouTube channel. Just look, search for Dr. Zelina Acuvita. And I'm sure you're going to include all these links below.
Yes, all the links will be on Facebook in the comments. Facebook in the comments, YouTube, and when I upload it to Spotify and Apple Podcasts. So look for those links. Go to her website, register for the class. We both have. She has the first class is when? The 6th.
Wednesday. 2 days from now.
Yes.
Wednesday, May 6th.
Wednesday's her first class. Go to that. The next class is the 13th. So her class is the hour before my class. So we have back-to-back classes on the 13th. Amazing. I'll be in Denver, but I'll be teaching it virtually. And my class is From Illness to Brilliance, How to Rebuild Your Health, Energy, and Life, Vegan Edition. So be excited. We got lots of knowledge out here for free. Everyone is not doing this, guys.
Yeah, it's Lupus Awareness Month.
Yes. Get aware. And
get
ourselves back to health, guys. This is incredible.
These resources didn't exist long, before. So I love that we have so much information out there now. One last thing I wanted to say, I'm not the only one with a story like this. Tenille has a story like this. Dr. Brooke Goldner has a story like this. Dr. Terry Walls has a story like this. Dr. Amy Myers has a story like this, and countless other people. And what does that tell you? That tells you that healing is absolutely possible, no matter what you're hearing or reading.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, that's the closing. That's the mic drop right there. That is it. Thank you so much. Yeah, I love it. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to ruin it. That was gorgeous. So, y'all, thank you so much for being here. We will see you next week. We'll see you on Wednesday for her class. I better see y'all there. Okay. Y'all have a happily healed, beautiful, gorgeous day. Bye.
Thank you to everyone in the comments.